Today's the day number 50 of posting every single day on YouTube. And I wanted to do something special for you guys. So not only is this video super special, me revealing something I haven't shared before and something I actually didn't want to share, but I knew could help some people out there, and also giving you the opportunity to join next generation e-commerce for 50% off. I don't know the last time I did 50% off. That's a huge discount, all the way from $4.97 to $248.50. So if you want more information on that, there'll be a link in the description to go to next generation e-commerce so you can become a contribution to my biggest goal of 2019, which is to have over $10 million in student sales. But now let's get back into this video. Well, I guess since today is actually the 50th day of posting every single day in a row on YouTube, it's time that I reveal you guys something that I haven't really shared here on the channel specifically. I gave some little hints, but I haven't given you guys everything, the exact step-by-step guide that I've been following in 2019 to have my e-commerce stores grow and maintain profitability with Facebook ads. So before we get into that, I have to go ahead and just announce the $100 giveaway winner for today, which is, I think today's the 4th day. So $400 given away so far, 6 more days to enter, top link in the description. So this is the winner right now. Noah Beggs says, $100 would be great for ads. I'm just about to start running my new store. Thanks for the great content, man. So Noah, congratulations to you. There's instructions in the description on how to claim your money. And actually the person from yesterday didn't claim their money, so I might have to do another drawing for that. But yeah, what would you guys do if you had $100? What would you spend it on? Put it in the comments below. Would you spend it on ads? Would you spend it on food? Would you buy clothes? What would it be? $100, it seems like a lot of money, but in reality, that $100 can be spent in the blink of a second. That's what I've learned the hard way, is that it's a lot easier to spend money than it is to make money. And throughout this video, sorry if I look a little bit tired, my eyes look like they're like half shut. I've actually been working up straight. I haven't slept in over a day. It's 1 a.m. right now. This video goes up in 5 hours. I just had a crazy work session from about 8:30 in the morning all the way until about now, but I guess technically I'm still working here because I'm filming this video. But really all day I was just going through thinking, oh, should I make this video or should I not make this video? Because I'm not sure what's going to happen, because I've revealed this strategy only to people that I work one-on-one with, the people from the recent Miami mentorship giveaway, some students I work with one-on-one, but never really the full thing on YouTube. Like I said, some little hints here and there. So I was really indecisive on whether I wanted to do it or not. And I think coming down to it, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? More people are making money. Nothing really bad can happen from this. I'm already maintaining some consistency with my own ads, so I don't really think you guys trying this out will affect it in any way. So I think the only way for this to go is up and to help you guys make more money. So let's go ahead and get into it. Most people, when they're going to test products, they're going to go ahead, they're just going to make one campaign and they're going to, run 20 ad sets or whatever they're going to do with one specific ad creative. Now, most people are just going to take someone else's ad creative, or they're just going to rip some boring image and really nothing with spark. I made a video a few weeks back called the Spark Strategy. Now this is like the Spark, but the full Spark strategy revealed, like the Spark 2.0, I guess I could say. And the reason I call it the Spark is because with these ads, we are creating a spark, because we're doing something new and we're putting something new in front of new people's faces instead of copying what everybody else is doing. Most people come up to me and ask me, yo, I'm testing this product, I'm losing money. And most people lose money within e-commerce from the beginning because they have no idea what they're doing. And they're just thinking so close-minded and just listening to one person's strategy. I don't want you to just take advice from me only. I want you to listen to multiple perspectives and try things on your own and see what works best for you, because obviously something that may work for me every time may not work for you, and vice versa. So for me, I realized that, when you're testing multiple ad sets all the time for all these different random products, you start to burn through money quick because you're running all these different ad sets. And, obviously if you're running a bunch of ad sets, you're bound to have a couple that are going to have some sales, but like overall, you're going to be losing money because of how many ad sets there are. So when people come to me, they're like, yo, Tanner, I'm going to run this new campaign for this product. I'm going to do 50 ad sets at $5 a day. I'm like, all right, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Obviously, there may be a couple ad sets that make some sales, but in reality, you're just going to lose money. So what I started doing is, instead of trying a bunch of different ad sets and interests, I realized that, all right, where you can get favored more with Facebook and reach more segments of the audience that you're actually targeting to get more value out of it, you're going to be testing multiple different creatives. Now, when I say multiple creatives, I'm talking about under each specific ad set. Now, I know I talked about in the original Spark video that I would test one image in one video, but that's not what I do anymore. It worked for a little bit, but not really for the long term. What I've seen work best with a 75% success rate testing products has been testing 4 different variations of a video under each ad set. And as far as the interests go, I used to put way too too much time and effort into it. I was doing all this data, seeing what genders, all these demographics, which obviously can be important. You want to know your audience, but in reality, I've been testing general interests, just things that are as relatable as possible to the product I'm selling, and testing 4 different video variations. Now, when I'm saying 4 different video variations, I'm not talking about completely different videos, because obviously if you're out there making ads, and that's another thing, these are all custom made ads. These aren't taken from someone else, because if you're taking someone else's ad and running it on Facebook, it's not going to perform. It's just going to compete with that other person, and they're already in favor because they're spending money. And basically what we're doing is just changing the intro for the variations of these ads. So we're having 4 different lead-ins, and what this is doing is testing different ways of catching people's attention. So let's say you have your ad set at $20 a day and you have 4 creatives under it. Obviously it's not going to spend evenly, but it's going to spin towards whatever's doing best, and you're going to be able to see which one's doing best. Obviously you may think one variation will do better than the other, but in reality you have no idea what's going to happen until you actually set it up and try it. That's just how it is in business and life in general. A lot of people want to succeed, or they want to become rich or whatever, but they never try it. And if you never try something, you never know if you're going to succeed in it or fail in it. And that's sort of the mindset I go in with this ad variation testing strategy, because what I'm doing is catching people's attention in different ways. I'm sure you've seen personal brand ads. People are like, hey, stop it, hey, do this, whatever. They're catching your attention, and by doing this with an e-commerce ad, obviously we're not sitting there yelling hey at the potential customer, but it's just trying different things that catch people's attention. Because when people are scrolling through their Facebook or through their Instagram, it goes on autoplay for most people. If those first couple seconds that they see don't make an impression, then they're just going to scroll on right by it, and then your ad spend money is gone and wasted because you didn't catch that person's attention. So when you're testing products and you're doing all these different ad sets and you're just testing one creative that you stole from someone else, it's not going to catch someone's attention because they've probably seen it a million other times, because that same person that you stole the product in the ad from is probably running the same interest that you're running. These things are pretty similar and they can tie together, but what most people aren't doing is testing multiple creatives, because when you're standing out, you're catching different people's attention, you're reaching new segments of audiences that haven't been targeted yet, and you're much more likely to become profitable as far as what I've seen. Now, I think we've tested around 10 products so far with this now, and only a couple of them haven't worked with this strategy. And I think the reason why this has worked is because, like I said, we're catching different people's attention with these different intros. And now, one of the theories I had, or one thing that I want to test with this was, whenever we're testing 4 creatives under each ad set, should I just turn off the ones that aren't doing bad like you would do in a campaign? Or should I just leave those on and create a new campaign targeting only that page post ID for that ad that is the most profitable? And I actually tested it on 2 different ad accounts, and what I saw worked best was actually just turning off the ad creatives that weren't really performing as well. What happens is, from what I've seen, is if you have 4 ad creatives under an ad set, and let's say ad variation 1 is performing the best, then Facebook is just going to keep spending money, mostly of whatever your budget is, towards that variation 1, and the rest are sort of going to be trickling and spending a couple dollars, or depending on what your budget is, obviously. And in reality, it's just not going to be optimizing, and that money that's being spent on those other 3 variations is sort of dwindling down the ROAS of that main ad variation. So we just started turning those other ones off. And to be fair with it, it was also still profitable doing it the other way. It was just more profitable when turning off those ad creatives that weren't working after that initial phase of going through a couple of days. Obviously we're looking for the specific KPIs, those indicators, to see which ones are doing best based off of added cards, checkouts initiated, cost per link click, CPM, things like that. But really just overall profitability. And what we're doing is we're not turning off these ads and making decisions super quick based off of just emotions, off of seeing, oh, it only has 1 add to cart or whatever. We're not turning it off until we see an actual result, because obviously a CPM could be $30, it could be $2. I've seen both variations on ad accounts that I manage, and both of them have been profitable. So obviously it's like one of the KPIs we look for, but not one of the main things. If something's profitable, obviously I don't want to touch it. I'm going to let it keep going and keep making money. And now, what is the next step after that? After you test these 4 different variations, you see what's doing best. Now you have this campaign running. What are you going to do? What I've been doing is, adding 1 to 2 new interests per day. So just duplicating these ad sets already, using the page post ID for that specific ad that's doing best, but all within the same campaign with the same budget. So don't start scavenging through a bunch of different budgets in the same campaign. It's just not going to go over well. And the same thing with duplicating profitable ad sets into new campaigns with higher budgets. That used to work really well, but not really anymore. And the same thing with increasing increasing budgets on existing ad sets. It just really is not working anymore like it used to. So I've been having to try new things. And one of those things obviously was with the ad variations. So we're adding 1 to 2 new interests a day, and they're doing pretty well. Obviously, a couple of them are going to be like a miss, but overall these campaigns are maintaining profitability really well. So now that you have this campaign where you're just cold testing these products and adding new interests, let's say you're managing a 5 ROIs or whatever, which is amazing. What is that next step? Tanner, I want to scale up. I want to do this. I want to do that. I would tell you to be patient. Okay, don't try and do things fast. Don't try and raise a bunch of budgets. Don't try and do all this stuff just because you want to make a bunch of money. Obviously, if something's profitable, you don't want to touch that. The first thing I'm going to do is just look into the breakdown for the demographics that are doing best, and maybe try a new campaign targeting that best performing ad creative, but narrowing it down by those demographics, whether it's older people, younger people, people in a specific location, whatever it is. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Honestly, it's just Facebook, and there's too many variables for me to really give a proper decision for you, because I don't know your situation. But what I would say, after you start doing that, try that first, and then through all of this, you're going to keep getting data that's fueling your future lookalikes. So you're going to need to create your source audiences. Let's say your product is, an iPhone. We're going to have an iPhone page view audience. We're going to do a 30-day, 14-day, 7-day, 5-day, 3-day, and 1-day. So these are the different time frames, and they're going to perform differently. Now, these you can use for retargeting, but also for lookalikes in the future. And if you're consistently getting sales, one thing that I've also been doing is using lifetime value lookalikes. So obviously, you can do the basics of, the page view, add a cart, initiate checkout, purchase lookalikes, which obviously are very well. You have to test them. This process is a long process, scaling up to 6 figures. It's not just like an overnight thing. It takes a long time to get through this process, unless some kind of magic happens and you do it overnight, which I have not seen before. But lifetime value lookalikes are basically when you're downloading a CSV file from your store, uploading it onto Facebook, and then Facebook is looking at the column that says how much these customers have spent, and it's going to be valuing and choosing lookalikes based off of the customers that spent the most money. So let's say you're doing a page view lookalike, it's just going to be making lookalikes off of people that viewed the specific product page. But if you're doing lifetime value, it's going to be a lot more stronger most of the time, because it's people that have already bought and people that have spent specific amounts of money, and then Facebook can see those tendencies and relate them to the lookalikes that they are creating. So those have been working really well and staying strong. But honestly, you're gonna need several hundred purchases to really have like a solid list to work well with lifetime value lookalikes. So if I were you, I would start off with the basics. Let's say you're doing these campaigns at $20 a day. If $20 a day is working for you, don't try and change things up. Don't try a bunch of new budgets. Just stay with what's working, because the last thing you want to do is ruin your momentum. Like with the Facebook ad glitch, the Facebook ad apocalypse, I made a video about that like 2 days ago. That was a pretty big situation that was terrible, but it's like, you just have to learn how to deal with these things. And one of those things is just staying patient and keeping a positive mindset. So what I would recommend to all of you guys that are, you have some profitable cold testing campaigns or looking to go to the next level, just start testing things. And when I say start testing things, don't just do a bunch of random stuff. Go in with a plan, with a strategy. That's what I learned from my good friend Noah, who's done several million with Facebook ads, profitably. He says, always just make sure you have a strategy and don't just go into things blindsided, just trying new things, because if you don't pay attention, you don't have a plan, then eventually things are going to start to dwindle out and you're not going to know what to do, because you're just making decisions based off of emotions instead of a logical track towards, that end goal of making 10K a day or whatever it is. So start off with the basics. Page view lookalikes, like I said, 30-day, 14-day, 7-day, 5-day, 3, and 1. They're all going to perform differently, and you're testing 1 to 10%. People ask me all the time, Tanner, what percentage lookalikes do the best for me? Honestly, it depends for every single option. The page views perform differently than the initiate checkouts. The purchases perform differently than the added carts. Everything performs differently, but most of the time, the lower the percentage, the better, because that's more of a tight-knit group that's related specifically to that source audience that you have created. But in reality, you never know. Things are different all the time. I've had 9% work and a 1% not work. So it's really just about testing all of these variables. So just keep reinvesting your profits. If you start to make some money and you're new to this, don't just start spending it on stupid stuff. Don't start giving it away like I'm doing, giving away $100. Do things with a logical mindset that you can take to the next level. So I wanted this video to be sort of like on the Spark 2.0, like a full version of what I've been doing when testing products, and has worked really well. well. And as far as, the whole next part of scaling to 6 figures, after finding some success with the 4 ad variations, it's a long process, but like I said, work through the funnels. And what my business partner, Noah, is doing for CBO campaigns and scaling up, I think he spent like 39 grand and made a little over 200 grand using a CBO strategy. We made a video about that maybe 4 or 5 videos back if you want to go check that out. Actually, I'll put a link in the description. But stay patient, create a plan, and focus on what's working instead of trying new things without knowing why you're doing it and why it's going to work or why it's not going to work. Just focus on what's doing best and how you can make it even better. If something's doing well, don't touch it. I see a lot of people, a lot of beginners make that mistake of, they're having profitable ad sets and they're like, all right, I'm ready to go to the next level. I want to break it down. And they just start changing a bunch of stuff and the profitable ad sets go back into review, and then you're out of luck and you lost the momentum from that. Be smart with what you're doing. And if you have any specific questions, drop them in the comments below and I will try and get back to you to help. Because obviously this video could go on for like over an hour, me talking about this and writing everything down. But I really just wanted to let it go off the top of my head so you can get a true understanding and feeling of what I'm doing with my Facebook ad strategy today in 2019 that's working super well for me. So if you find this helpful, go ahead and drop a like below. And remember, 50% off next generation e-commerce until June 1st when the $100 giveaway ends. Well, it's a $100 a day giveaway, so 1,000 total, but June 1st is the last day to win the $100, and that's also when I'm cutting off the 50% off for next generation e-commerce. So go ahead, check it out, link in the description if you want more information. I would love to see you in there, become part of that family, and become a contribution to my biggest goal for 2019, which is to have my students generate over $10 million in sales. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.